Hi guys, and welcome to my lower body mobility flow. This is a fun yet challenging sequence of movements, so if you haven't already, please go and try out the more basic movements, the link of which is in the bio. So in this sequence we're going to be going through a variety of ranges of motion in our knees, hips, ankles, hopefully building strength and durability in all these areas, and hopefully pushing and setting some new limits for ourselves too. I would advise doing light warm-ups beforehand and going slowly and at your own pace. Sequences as we can see here, and we're going to break down each individual movement so we can train each movement in isolation before sequencing them together. So the first movement we're going to look at is the Cossack squat. And if you haven't done this all before, I'd recommend starting on the ball of your foot and gently going from side to side. If this feels comfortable, you can practice it with the foot flat on the floor. Ideally, you want to be able to move to the other side without touching the floor with your hands. Our next movement is the horse stance. So we want our feet to be wider than our shoulders, pushing through the outer edge of our feet as we bend our knees to about 90 degrees, slight pelvic tilt, and we hold for as long as we can. Maybe 30 seconds would be a good aim. And next we have our box splits or side splits. We can train this using an isometric hold or using a dynamic stretch. Either you can sit down on a sofa behind you or just leaning forward. The idea is we're pushing through the range of motion through our hips as we bring our chest in parallel to the floor. Now we move on to probably the most complex drill of the video. Start with our feet staggered. Front foot needs to be at about 45 degrees facing outwards. The back foot, we go onto the ball of our foot and we rotate whichever direction our front foot is facing. So if our left foot is forward, we're going to rotate to our left. And it's a back bend and a rotation at the same time. To start with, just try touching the back of your back knee. Once this becomes comfortable for 6 to 8 reps, we can start going further and further down the back leg, with the goal being to touch the back ankle. Again, take this slowly to begin with because it is a complex movement. Next we have our front bend, which is again in a staggered stance, trying to keep our legs as straight as possible and just bouncing down onto that front knee, using blocks to help if needed. The split squat is a fantastic lower body exercise. To start with, I'd recommend using a step for our front foot. The idea is trying to safely bring the knee over the toe, as you can see here in the video. Once comfortable, we can start training with just our front heel elevated. Again, bringing our weight slowly and with control over that front foot. This would be considered a fairly advanced movement, so make sure you're doing it safely.